What I would like to tell future students about the Teacher Academy is even if you're going into it undecided and you're not sure, it will help you decide exactly what grade level you want to go into, and it'll tell you right away, and you'll know, and you can go into college knowing what you want to pursue, and it's great.
I like coming over to Firelands, gives a little more independence. I like learning a lot about the teaching field and getting some actual hands-on experience in that area. I start off the morning at my home school taking math, theology, and government, and then in the afternoon I come out to Firelands to complete the Teacher Academy course. I think it's a great experience if you're looking to go into the teaching program. It can really give you a step above the competition of a future to actually get some hands-on experience and learn all the things you need to know.
I played 3 sports my senior year in high school. I played football, basketball, and tennis. So, I mean, it was all through the year. I had Teacher Academy and my sports, and it all worked out great.
Being in the Teacher Academy introduced me to many friends. I've met so many people my senior year in high school who I'm now friends with. The person that I'm best friends with, I've actually met her in the Teacher Academy. I also was introduced to a club at Firelands, and it's called FOSIA, and I'm now a sophomore in college, and I'm still president of it. And FOSIA just gives you tons of opportunities to go out there and help the community, and just by having that opportunity and putting it on your resume for when you graduate just makes you look that much better.
Our relationship with sisters has influenced me personally going to the Teacher Academy. She's my older sister, and we both kind of had the goal of doing something into education, and then she came home one day and I'd always see her projects that she was doing for Teacher Academy.
Tons of projects.
So much positive talk about it, all that. It was a big influence on, hey, maybe I should do this too.
It was a great experience for me, and I loved, I'm always like, hey Sam, do you need any help? Do you need any ideas? Because I love being involved in teaching and education, and it's great to have her in the program that I was in so we can share ideas and talk about I had this kid when she would come home and be like, I have this kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had him in kindergarten. So it's cool to kind of share stories, and I can see how they progress from kindergarten to 2nd grade or something like that. So it's cool to share stories and things like that. I started going to school with the Teacher Academy here at Firelands, and I liked the class size that I had with Mrs. McAbear. There was 11 of us, I think, and 11 of us in my class, and it was really good one-on-one attention.
The EHOVE Teacher Academy helped prepare me for my career, starting with college. I entered college with, a step ahead of everyone else. I kind of feel as if it gave me that groundwork for all of my college classes. When my professor started teaching us about something, I was like, oh, I know some of that. I've heard of that before.
I think the Teacher Academy students are amazing. They come in. We have, this year I have 25 students, so it's nice that they can help work one-on-one with students. We do break down into groups, and then they can take a group of children and teach them as I'm with another group.
I've learned a lot about what teaching requires and how much lesson planning she does, and also when I was in her classroom, I taught a math center and got to actually help students one-on-one.
Oh, it's awesome, because then I'll bounce something off and then she'll add something to it, and I can take something here, and she gets the little more young, fun ideas and brings them in, and more technology, so that makes it good teamwork.
I feel that Teacher Academy students help us in the classroom by bringing new ideas in that they've learned.
One of the new ideas that the Teacher Academy students have brought in are foldables. The foldables is something that I can actually use in my classroom, and next year, or even take it another level with the students. It's been a wonderful addition.
With Teacher Academy, you get to be a member of FOSIA, which stands for the Firelands chapter of the Ohio Student Education Association. And with that, we were able to go to a workshop where they had FOSIA members come and teach us how to make different foldables and how to relate them back to the content that they were learning in the classroom.
The Teacher Academy students are a huge benefit in the classroom because automatically I have an extra set of hands and eyes and ears in the classroom, and I can give my students so much more time and attention than I would be on my own. So they give them extra one-on-one attention and feedback, and that's automatically good for the kids.
Being a Teacher Academy student benefits because I'm in the classroom getting the hands-on work before I go to college, and it's just one level up from, because I'll have to do my student teaching eventually, so it's just an extra step to help me be prepared as to what I'm going to be doing.
Well, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the Teacher Academy students by having them in my classroom. And what I like to do when they come to visit, even if it's an observation, is to let them get involved with the students, to actually overlook some of the student work, to let them direct the class if there's enough time for that. 2 years ago, I had a student for an extended period of time, and after the third day, I actually let her lead the class in some activities. Gave her a great opportunity to see what it's like to be a teacher in the classroom. So I would encourage a student or the parents of a student who are interested in this program to explore, because you get the opportunity to be in the classroom on the other side of the desk to see what it's like to be a teaching professional.
What I would tell parents is that first you definitely won't waste your money on going to college and think you're going to be a teacher and you don't end up becoming a teacher. Before you leave the Teacher Academy, you pretty much have an entire idea of what you want to do, either that grade level or like in my situation, special ed or general ed. You'll have that figured out before you leave, if teaching's for you or if it's not for you. So I would say it'd be a good thing that your students or your son or daughter would have that figured out before even heading away to college.
Something positive that I think that comes from the Teacher Academy, most importantly, is the interaction that you get with the younger kids in your own community and communities around the area. I'm in a very cool situation that I actually work with some of the students that I worked with back when I was in the Teacher Academy, so it's very neat to still see kids in your own community that when you were in high school, you got the experience to work with them.
You get to see what it's really like. So a lot of kids in high school don't realize what it's going to be like in the working field, and it looks like one thing, but it actually is another thing. So I got to see the things that aren't so, cushy and fun, and the actual work that goes behind being an effective kindergarten teacher. First of all, it starts with my passion of teaching, and her passion was very strong too. And I can still remember things that I did in her class, things that I've kind of changed and modified in my curriculum and with my students. And I remember her reading stories to children and being so excited as she read them. And so I know what it's like to be a student in a kindergarten classroom, learning from somebody who's so excited about what they do, that igniting that fire to really want to get somebody excited about the teaching profession.
Something really important is the students from the Teacher Academy come with a plan. They have learned so much from their instructor, Mrs. McAbeer, at the Teacher Academy, and she has a syllabus. And so you can look at that and you know what those students have already learned and what you can put them right into. Mm-hmm. So I know if they've talked about Piaget, I know if they've learned to read stories to children and how to question them, not just on factual recall, but on higher level thinking. And so when I could look at what they had learned, it would have been very easy for me to say, Amanda, grade these papers day after day after day, but oh no.
Right.
She would come in and I'm like, you're teaching a reading group today. How does this sound to you?
Right, and that was very exciting. And
the Teacher Academy students are steps ahead of kids who are just deciding that they'd like to be a teacher someday. And when these kids are finished, they have this wonderful portfolio filled with all of the experiences that they've already had. And a typical college student, heading into education might not get the experiences that these kids have had. Real life, put into that situation right now, maybe not any prior planning, and you can give it to them and they can carry out a task really well for you and very successfully.
I would like to tell any future student that is interested in the Teacher Academy to go for it. Even if you feel, once you're into the program, even if you feel like, oh, I would never want to do early childhood, or I would never want to do special ed, try it. You never know what you could just fall in love with. You take every opportunity and every chance to learn as much as you can and grow, and it just starts you in that path to become the best teacher you can be.